What if the United States, the symbol of democracy and freedom, had taken a completely different path? Imagine a world where America wasn't a republic, but a monarchy ruled by kings and queens. Instead of presidents, there would be a royal family, and instead of elections, power would pass down through bloodlines. How would this alternate history change America's identity, its government, and its future? Let's explore this intriguing scenario and see how things might have unfolded. In the late 18th century, the American colonies were on the brink of revolution. Frustrated by British rule and King George III's policies, leaders like George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and Benjamin Franklin fought for independence. They dreamed of a nation free from tyranny, where leaders were chosen by the people. But what if the Founding Fathers had chosen a different path? Instead of rejecting monarchy, what if they embraced it? Imagine George Washington not as the first president, but as the first king of America. A single decision could have drastically altered the course of history, not just for the United States, but for the entire world. The birth of the American monarchy. In this alternate reality, the American Revolution could still have happened, but the outcome would be different. The colonies might have won their independence from Britain, but, recognizing the need for a strong central authority, they could have crowned George Washington as King George I. Washington, already admired for his leadership during the war, was seen as a figure who could unite the new nation. His humility and strength made him an ideal candidate for monarch, but unlike elected presidents, his position would be hereditary, passing down to his descendants, creating a royal family that would shape the nation's identity for generations. A different government system. The American monarchy might resemble Britain's constitutional monarchy. The king would serve as the symbolic head of state, while a parliament or Congress would handle most legislative duties. However, in the early years, the monarch's power could have been far more substantial, potentially overshadowing the role of elected officials. Laws, taxes, and military decisions might be directly influenced by the monarchy. This could delay the establishment of checks and balances, leading to a less democratic government in the early stages. Over time, as in Europe, the monarchy's powers might diminish, but not without significant struggles and potential conflicts. Key documents like the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution might never have been written. Instead, the country's governance would be based on royal decrees, and the ideals of we the people could be replaced with loyalty to the crown. The society under a monarchy. Under a monarchy, society would likely have been far more hierarchical. The royal family would sit at the top, followed by the nobility, and the common people would be divided into rigid social classes. The American dream, where anyone could rise to success, might never have taken root. Instead, social mobility could be stifled, with one's position in life determined by birth, rather than ambition or hard work. The ideals of freedom and equality that we cherish today might be overshadowed by a focus on loyalty to the monarchy and tradition. National holidays like Independence Day could have been replaced with royal anniversaries, shaping a completely different cultural identity. Economic impact of monarchy. An American monarchy would have both its strengths and weaknesses. On the one hand, a stable government could encourage economic growth and trade. A royal family might help unify the nation, instilling a sense of pride and national identity. However, as with most monarchies, wealth could be concentrated at the top. The royal household's extravagant lifestyle would likely require higher taxes, potentially draining resources that could otherwise fund public services like infrastructure, education, or healthcare. This could widen the gap between the rich and the poor, leaving a thriving middle class difficult to achieve. Global influence of a monarchical U.S. The United States became a global superpower in part because of its democratic ideals, which inspired revolutions around the world. In this alternate reality, a monarchy in the U.S. might not have had the same global influence. Instead of being a beacon of democracy, the U.S. might align itself with European monarchies, building diplomatic ties based on shared governance. Rather than leading global democratic movements, the United States might become more inward-focused, concentrating on protecting the monarchy's interests. Its image as the leader of the free world could be replaced with one of royal diplomacy, changing how other nations view the country. Cultural differences in a monarchical America. Culturally, a monarchy would shift America's values. Instead of celebrating individual freedoms, the country might honor royal achievements. Symbols like the bald eagle and the stars and stripes could be replaced with royal crests or family emblems. and the royal family could become the central figure of American culture. The media would likely focus on the royal family, turning their personal lives into national spectacles. Hollywood might produce films about the monarchy's history, full of royal dramas, celebrations, and scandals. These cultural shifts would redefine what it means to be American. Challenges to the monarchy. Like all monarchies, an American monarchy wouldn't be immune to resistance. Over time, economic challenges or unpopular decisions could spark movements for change. Citizens might demand more representation, and if the royal family failed to meet their expectations, protests or even revolutions could follow. The monarchy could face struggles to maintain legitimacy, especially if the public's loyalty to the crown falters, creating tension between the ruling family and the people. An America ruled by a king would be a dramatically different place. While some aspects might bring stability, they would also strip away much of the freedom and equality that define the nation today. The rigid social structure and concentration of power would shape the American experience in ways that could be both positive and negative. The Founding Fathers chose a republic because they believed in democracy and the power of the people. It's this choice that allowed America to become a symbol of freedom and opportunity for the world. But the alternate path, a monarchy, presents a fascinating what-if that reminds us how fragile and unique the history of the United States truly is. So, what do you think? Would America have been stronger or weaker under a monarchy? Would you trade democracy for a royal family? The possibilities are endless, and it's a question that invites us to reflect on what made America the nation it is today.